Hello everyone, I'm Chester44 and welcome to this Let's Play of Blades of Avernum. Last episode, we happened to complete a fairly interesting scenario. Tales from the Tabard Inn. An occasional bit of fighting, but it was mostly the stories that were being told. Very interesting kind of stuff that very interesting stories that we learned, and how it all connected and all that. I liked it. I got two more scenarios by the same author, Lazarus. Now, the first one I did Frostbite was the second scenario. The second scenario I did, Tales, was his third scenario. Now we're going to move on to the first scenario he happened to make. That's the next one I've got in range. It's called Delesia. His readme said to make a party of level 37 to make sure that it's good. Any lower and it would be a challenge. I decided to bump it to level 38. Comparatively. You know Draco. He's always lagging behind. Oh well. So, with that said, let us go to Delesia. Is it really better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all? You saw the note posted on the bottom of a job board in Turin. Although it had been posted for weeks, no one had responded. The letter was simple. Help needed in Keilan. Please come with all haste. You almost passed it over like those that came before you, but the name of the city caught your eye. A quick look at your map showed you were correct. Keilan is a small farming city in the heights of the Jizula Mountains. How fortunate. You had completed your previous assignment, killing the pirates of Turin, with ease, and would be reporting back to the capital of Solaria several weeks early. You had been looking for a quick side quest to do on your way back, and this looked to be just what you wanted. Keilan would only be a slight detour. No doubt it would be a simple quest. Nothing serious ever happens in a speck on the map like Keilan, and so you took down the letter and began your journey. The trip to Keilan was uneventful. The only thing of note was a stream of refugees that you encountered as you got closer to the area. The refugees told wild tales, men of iron and rock ravaging Keilan that no one was able to stand against. Sounds like golems, an adventurer's nightmare. You cross your fingers and hope that it's just gossip. You finally arrive in Keilan. It's time to see what you've gotten yourselves into. If the rumors you've heard are true, you might not be reporting to Solaria as early as you'd hoped. The back of the note on the job board said to talk to Mayor White. Seems like an obvious place to start. Mayor White. Alright then. What we got here? Alright. Bonnie turns to you. I've been feeling strange for a while now. I believe it began when we were approaching Keilan. I've never felt anything like it. When I try to cast magic, it feels as if my head is fuzzy. You ask what could be causing this. I don't know. It feels like a mild dumbfounding. It is the oddest thing I've ever felt. You suggest it might be something in the water. Your guess is as good as mine. I think I should sit down. That's concerning. Is that basically saying we may not be able to cast spells here? Because I don't like that if so. No, I do not like it at all. Can't seem to go that way. The Academy of Keilan is an above-average-sized building to adventurers who have traveled all across Pralgad, but it is colossal compared to the other buildings in Keilan. It is 3 stories tall and dominates the entire city. Alright, that's the Academy, but we're not going to the Academy right now. I'm just exploring everywhere around, as I do. What the? You come face to face with a very strange sight. The man, if it really is that before you, is 5 feet tall, squat, and well-muscled. Its legs are humongous. It could probably swim with amazing speed. The frogman is dressed in lizard-skin clothes and covered in leaves and swamp plants, presumably for camouflage. He also carries a large, deadly 2-tined trident. He looks up when you approach and speaks quite clearly in your own tongue.
Humans call me Glop.
Who might you find, Thursby? When he says his name, it is a very throaty and croaking sound. You doubt you could effectively mimic it without giving yourself a coughing fit. What are you? I am a swamp man. Your people casually refer to us as frogmen. I came here from my village north of Lake Tybor. Your people are very strange and foreign to me. I believe I am the first of my kind to visit with the humans in years. What brings you to Keilan? Glup grows sad, a very strange sight. His skin darkens and he hangs his head. I was sent here on a quest to find ultra bog shrooms. I have searched the swamps high and low without any luck, and I believe I will have to return empty-handed. I came to your city as a last resort, but the humans haven't even heard of bog shrooms. I had heard that the humans here knew magic and had ancient knowledge, but only swamp folk ever use ultra bog shrooms. What do you need them for? Glup hesitates. The nature of my search was to be a secret, but I suppose since I have already failed, I can tell you. The chieftain of my village has fallen ill. Shaman Brup said that these shrooms could heal him. He entrusted me with the task of finding them, and I have failed. I have disgraced myself and failed my entire tribe. Hey, maybe I could help. Glup jumps 5 feet straight into the air. He eagerly shakes your hands. His hands are webbed, wet, and clammy. I know that with the help of some adventurers, I could find the shrooms. Thank you. He suddenly recalls something and his elation leaves him like air from a popped balloon. Actually, it isn't my place to give you that task. Please, we must speak with Shaman Brook. Meet me at my village place. I'm sure he'll approve. How have you been treated by the people of Keilan? Shaman Brook had warned me that many humans had never seen a swamp man before, and that humans often fear and hate what they are unfamiliar with. It was true that almost no one here had seen one of my folk before, but my reception has been cordial. The first day I arrived, everyone in town came out to see me. The children are fascinated with me, but some people were even afraid. Others were more understanding. The innkeeper here is a good man, and has fed me and allowed me to sleep out here. Has the tribe had any problems with golems? We had never heard of the golems until I came to Keilan. That is another reason I must return to my village. I must warn them of possible danger. Why aren't you attacking me? Glup looks very confused. Why would I be? Swamp folk are peaceful people. Or at least my tribe is. There are some swamp folk who fight incessantly, but not us. What would my elders say if they heard that I attacked someone for no reason? That's a relief. His spear looks very sharp and its tip looks like it's coated with some kind of poison. Knowing all the poisons available in swamps, you'd guess that getting stabbed would result in a painful death. That sure is a nice spear. Glup holds it up to admire it. I received it from my father. Most swamp folk carry spears meant for hunting frogs and lizards. This is a war spear. He seems very proud of the family heirloom, and rightfully so. It is a fine piece of craftsmanship. Okay. The northern shore of Lake Tybor is where we will need to head. Right. There's a child out here. You come across a young boy kicking a rock. He is aimlessly making his way around town, scuffing his feet the whole way. You approach him and ask him his name. He begins to answer, then suddenly remembers something. I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. Thinking that the conversation is over, you begin to walk away. The boy hesitates, clearly torn between his orders to avoid strangers and his desire to chat with adventurers. The latter wins out, and he runs over to you. Hey, you want to know something cool? There's a frogman behind the inn. Maybe you adventurers could kill it. Why would I kill it? The boy stares at you like you're a fool. You're adventurers, silly. That's your job. The frogman was very neat. It had swamp clothes on and wet green skin. I wasn't scared, though, until it ate Billy. You look skeptical, and the boy takes it as an affront. I saw it with my own eyes. What, you don't believe me? I think you're lying. That's not a nice thing to say. No fair, I'm leaving. Hold on. When he sees you, the boy wastes no time in filling your head with tales of everything from this morning's breakfast to the purple slimes of Alorum. It's fairly dizzying. So why would I kill it? Well, you obviously wouldn't, since I'm such a liar. So what else is going on in town? The boy considers before answering. Well, the frogman is really the most interesting thing. Oh, you came? That was pretty neat. But I suppose you don't want to know about yourself, so... Oh! I just remembered something else that's really cool. You adventurers would like it. You lean forward, expecting to hear about a hidden dungeon. Wishful thinking. There's this old lady living around town. She must be 300 years old. He nods solemnly. She eats children and keeps their shoes in a closet in her home. What can you tell me about the golems? The golems... Oh, all the adults are talking about them. They stop whenever they see kids. I think they think it will scare us. I'm pretty sure the golems will swoop down and kill us all. The thought doesn't make him as sad as you'd think. He actually seems pretty excited. He soon loses interest. Hey, you want to see me jump? I've been practicing and I can jump super high. No thanks. A note has been tacked onto the store. It reads, "Left Keilan for Imperius." Looks as though people are abandoning Keilan for fear of the golems. Oh, can't go in there. The plaque on the door reads, "Residence of Mayor White." Mayor White certainly lives lavishly. Nothing much in there. Or in there. You enter the mayor's bedroom. The room is lavishly furnished with rich tapestries hanging from the walls, and gold inlay adorns the wood of the four-poster bed that dominates the room. I guess he's not in here. Yoink. Okay. Let's take a look in here. Mall of Keilan. Mac's Smithy, Sarah's Baked Goods, Aram's Fletchery, and the Onyx Bank. A small smithy has been set up in Keilan's mall. It is fairly small and probably used mainly for making nails, shoeing horses, or repairing utensils for local housewives. You then notice the man running this forge. He's very hard to miss. A burly man whose brawn stretches his tunic to the limits. He is covered in soot and sweat. He gives the bellows a pump, and a wave of heat reaches your face. At this point, the man notices your presence and says,
"The name's Mac. Not sure if I have much of interest to adventurers, but you're welcome to look."
"Show me your wares." He really doesn't. I mean, drakeskin boots aren't bad. We all have a pair. Okay. What can you tell me about Keilan? Mac turns to speak to you. He doesn't seem eager to waste time on gossip, but then again, you have been sent here to save his town.
"Our city is threatened by hordes of golems. I know you won't believe this, but bear with me. I know it to be true. I have heard first-hand accounts of golems laying waste to the countryside. Many people are fleeing Keilan, but I will remain. When the golems come for us, I will stand with my countrymen and defend my homeland."
He seems proud of his resolve, but remorseful that this eventuality seems so likely. A middle-aged woman stands at the counter kneading dough. Her face is spotted with flour, and the smell of freshly baked bread wafts to your nose. The counter is littered with fruits, pastries, cakes, breads, and other baked goods waiting to be sold to a hungry merchant or local. The woman interrupts her baking to greet you. "Hello, my name is Sarah. I'm the local baker. If your children would like anything, then just speak up. I know how adventuring can work up an appetite." You sure have a wide variety of foods here." She beams. "Baking is my family tradition. My mother taught me a wide variety of exotic recipes from all corners of the Empire, which she in turn learned from her ancestors. Now I bake them for the people of Keilan. I buy fruits from the nearby orchards, and farmers sell me grains and corn. Keilan grows all kinds of fruits, so I can get almost anything I need locally. Anything else can be acquired from merchants. I hope you enjoy my efforts." "What can I get in this mall?" "Well, Max sells metalware and does repairs. Maybe he'll have some weapons for you as well. Aram sells bows and arrows, and I sell baked goods." Mac chimes in.
"Best bakery in Keilan. Eat some and you won't regret it."
Sarah smiles at his compliments. "Always a gentleman, that one. Oh, I almost forgot, the Bank of Keilan is underground. You can find it through the door to the northeast." "I'd like to buy some food. I don't think we need any. We should have some. Some bread, some mushrooms. What the hell." "Can you tell us what is going on in Keilan?" "The town has been besieged by golems. At least we have been told that it is. No one has seen the golems from Keilan itself. Only villages and farms have been attacked. It's all very unpleasant. We sit here and wait until they attack. Everyone knows we won't be able to fight them off, and the saner among us have already fled north. Aram glances up as you approach. He brushes the wood chips off his jacket, but remains seated and asks,
What would you like?
"Get much business?" Aram grins.
Surprisingly, yes. I get considerably more business than our brawny friend across the way.
Mac hammers all the louder in his soul and pretends not to listen.
Keilan hasn't seen a war in hundreds of years, but that doesn't mean that men don't hunt, or that the militia don't need arrows for target practice. Most of my wares serve rather mundane purposes, but I still put great effort into my craft.
Why do you give Mac a hard time? Aram speaks louder so Mac can hear over the din created by his hammering.
Who, the king of tinkers? My hope is that my jabs will motivate him to better his shoddy workmanship. Hey, Mac! My wife wants you to shoe her horse again, and this time don't just put an old pan on his hooves.
Mac shakes his head in mock shame. Aram leans closer and lowers his voice.
Mac would never let on, but he is one of the greatest smiths in Pralgad. I'm just yanking his chain. Don't let my jokes diminish your opinion of him.
Greatest smith, hey?
You'll have to ask him about that yourself, although it has been many years since he has done any work that adventurers would be interested in.
Aram glances at... Okay. What is that bow made out of? Aram pulls out the half-finished bow and hands it to you. The wood is jet black and so glossy that it practically shimmers.
Take a look at that. It draws better than any other wood I've worked with. Light, resilient, and yes, it looks nice too. It is actually made of cave wood. Before you say it, yes, cave wood is very poor for making bows. It is brittle and little better than driftwood. But this is no ordinary cave wood. It is some sort of hybrid tree. It has remarkable properties, but unfortunately it also grows only in the caves of Avernum. I wouldn't believe the cost to have it shipped here, but it's well worth it. I've never worked with a better wood.
I'd like to shop. Nothing we need here. Alright. It's just an ash bow. Bank of Keilan down here. Alright. The trapdoor glides open on well-greased hinges. The steps down are worn. Many people must pass this way. The bank is fairly simple. There's a table against either wall for conferences with clients. The northern wall is lined with neatly organized bookshelves, presumably filled with ledgers and accounts of the bank's assets. You would be remiss as a long-time adventurer if you didn't also notice the large iron gates to the north. You would bet anything that they lead to the bank vaults. The prospect makes your mouths water, but you see no way to open them. Well, of course not. Krill looks up from his papers when you approach.
What will it be, noble adventurers?
What exactly are you?
I have the misfortune of being a half-goblin. My mother was human, my father goblin. The details of how this happened are fairly unsavory, so I will spare you from them. It was unfortunate, but at least I seem to have inherited the greed of my father's people rather than their lust for blood. So here I sit before you, probably the only goblin citizen of the Empire.
So how'd you wind up as a banker?
Well, as I said, I have a goblin's greed, but unfortunately I also have a goblin's good looks. All my life, people have avoided me because of my appearance and my race. The Onyx Bank doesn't care what its employees look like, and I figured banking is one profession where my looks would actually help me fit in.
Krill crackles at his own joke. Seems good-natured for a half-goblin. What is the Onyx Bank of Pralgad?
Krill looks surprised. I am surprised that adventurers wouldn't know about the Onyx Bank. We have chapters all across Izo, allowing you to store your gold and also safely transport it. You can either deposit your gold, withdraw gold, or receive a certificate of deposit. A certificate that can be cashed at other bank chapters and is also often accepted by local merchants.
How much gold do I have in the bank?
I currently have 0 gold in the bank.
Certificate of deposit?
We only give certificates of deposit to our biggest accounts. If your account reaches 15,000 gold, then I can give you one.
Okay. What do you think about Keilan's problems?
The bank is fairly removed from city life above ground, so I haven't heard much about these machines ravaging the surface. I suppose that if they do come and destroy the city, it won't be good for business, so good luck with your quest to stop them.
Okay. It's interesting, the idea of the banks that they make here. Like I said, it's an interesting idea, but it's not something I'd ever really use. You walk into Keilan's Inn. The sign reads, "The Smarmy Swashbuckler." Just below is painted a picture of a dangerous-looking warrior flirting with a tavern girl. When you enter the common room, you find an array of characters. This would be a good place to gather information for your quest. A hunched-over woman sits at the table. Her gray hair is thin and wispy, her nose crooked and bumpy, and she has about 3 teeth in her entire mouth. You attempt to give her an age, but are unable to come up with one. She is very old, though.
My sweets, sit down with Irma. The children might tell you I'm a hag that eats little boys for supper, but it isn't true. Don't be afraid, I won't bite.
You don't doubt this last part. What do you do around town? It takes much thinking for her to recall what it is she does.
Well, I used to teach classes for the academy. I retired now. I help deliver babies, cure cows, medicine woman kind of things. I've studied many years and can identify your items as well.
You identify these? Irma looks over your items and identifies them, for a minimal fee, of course. Each time you hold up something you aren't familiar with, she ponders for minutes, racking her brain for old memories that can tell her what it is.
Sid, come tell Irma what's on your mind.
So the kids are afraid of you?
Oh yes, terrified. It doesn't bother me much, although it is interesting to talk to children occasionally. They have such fascinating, crazy tales. You wouldn't believe the imagination some of them have.
What kinds of tales?
Monsters under the beds, gremlins in the crops, kinds of stuff all kids say. A lot of them are just excuses to shirk their duties, but sometimes they know things that adults don't. They are very perceptive. If you wanted to know specifics, you'd have to ask them yourself. I certainly can't sit through their ramblings for extended periods of time.
Odd to see an elderly woman in this rough-and-tumble tavern.
Rough and tumble. I could probably beat up half the smarmy swashbuckler's patrons. This inn is about as rough as my living room, which I'll have you know is decorated with many doilies and throw pillows. I would never say those things around Cecil. He likes to think that innkeeping is a lustrous job, and I like to stay on his good side. After all, this place has great soup.
The innkeeper of the Smarmy Swashbuckler walks from table to table, picking up plates and waiting on customers. He wears a plaid jacket beneath his leather apron, both of which are stained with years of food and booze. He walks right by you, intent on his work. You clear your throat to grab his attention. Once he finally sees you, he looks surprisingly pleased. Most innkeepers don't exactly welcome adventurers.
Ah, always good to see a group of noble adventurers. Have a seat, have a drink. Please make yourselves at home. I am Cecil. I run this inn with my wife Kyra and my son Edmund.
What services do you offer?
Cecil looks pleased. We have a clean room that you can have for only 25 gold. We also have the finest liquors in all of Pralgad. A round of drinks will cost you 6 gold.
I don't need anything right now.
Tell me if you change your mind.
Why is this inn called the Smarmy Swashbuckler? Cecil looks a bit sheepish that you asked.
Well, I originally opened the inn because innkeeping seemed like such an interesting profession. Bar fights, hold-ups, adventurers looking for quests. You know, taverny things. I thought that a tough name would attract tough customers. Evidently, the problem is that there aren't many tough characters in Keilan. I can say that innkeeping has been excruciatingly uninteresting. I can't remember the last bar fight.
I suppose we could start a fight for you.
Cecil looks elated. You would really do that for me? I suppose you better not. The customers might object, not to mention the town watch. I'll just have to suffer through the boredom.
Well, the golems seem pretty interesting. Cecil considers.
Yes, if you consider the imminent doom of all that you love to be interesting, then the golems certainly are that. I would take a bar fight any day. Lots of action, not much dying. As a matter of fact, something interesting did happen recently. This frogman came through looking for a place to stay.
Frogman?
He actually left. I think it was going back to the swamps. Suppose you can find it up there if you look hard enough.
Cecil breaks away from washing tables to get you seated. He seems pleased that you are here. Why is the owner of this fine establishment bussing tables? Cecil starts polishing a mug so fiercely you fear he will rub a hole in the rag. I've never seen him this perturbed.
It's the fault of my no-good lush of a son. He is supposed to be helping out with the family business, but all he does is drink. He's probably has slunk over to some corner and passed out. Lucky for him he isn't an insider. I'd smack him sober.
Okay. This man, this man is dressed in all leather, decorated with trophies, exotic feathers, and cheap gemstones. He has a deadly-looking axe at his waist and a longbow on his back. He invites you to sit down.
Greetings, travelers. I am Wallace, traveling merchant, teller of tales, slayer of baddies of all kinds, and sellsword extraordinaire. I have traveled all over Keilan and know more of the area than anyone else.
Wallace motions you to sit down.
Have a pint of ale. I always appreciate some company, especially from fine friends like yourselves.
You say you know your way around Keilan. What can you tell me of the area?
I have walked every inch of the Jesula Mountains, and Keilan is no exception. I can tell you whatever you need to know.
He pulls out a map and spreads it out so he can point out what he is talking about. What is in the swamps to the north?
I have explored the swamps thoroughly and can say with some authority that there is little there. The swamp folk live on the northern shore of Lake Tybor, and that's about it, except lizards and bogs.
Wallace sees your confusion and explains.
Oh, the swamp men are a race of amphibious humanoids. They are not very sociable and rarely leave their village. But I have traded with them, and I can say they are peaceful. They know much about the swamps.
How about to the south?
To the south is the abandoned Jesula Keep. The pass to the south previously led through the Jesula Mountains. Outside the entrance on this side was a small mining town. It has been razed by the golems, so there's nothing there now. This is why I'm sitting here before you. I originally intended to pass to the south, and the fastest way was through that mountain pass. I am now told the pass caved in during the golem attack. It will be a while before it is repaired, if it ever is. For now, my fastest route out of here is out of service.
What do you know of the golems? Wallace shakes his head.
The golems are beyond my fighting abilities. I once faced one and was forced to flee. My blows just bounced off of it. They are solid rock. Fortunately, I did escape. They are slow and clumsy. I know that your task is to find where the golems are made. This won't be easy, and I really can't help you. Although if I were you, I'd look to the south. That was where they first attacked.
Right, go south last. That's some repertoire. What services could you offer us?
Yes, I am a jack of all trades. I started out as a traveling merchant, but learned quickly that it is a perilous profession. I learned how to fight to protect myself. Through my travels, I have learned some useful skills and acquired useful items. I can teach you how to traverse dangerous lands safely. I can sell and buy goods. And, my favorite feature, I also have my item of the day.
Teach me how to traverse dangerous lands. Okay, Pathfinder. I'd like to see your wares. We can sell stuff to him if need be. Rod of Arcana. Rejuvenation potion. Interesting. A new type of potion. Nothing else we need. What is your featured item?
Wallace smiles. A good choice. How this works is I will choose an item at random from my pack. Who knows what interesting things could be yours?
He roots around for several seconds and produces a length of rope. You're disappointed. Wallace seems disappointed as well.
This here is a leather asp skin dragon wrangling rope. It was, forged in, the fires of Akronath by some demon. No, Grahoth himself!
You look at him skeptically. He meets your gaze for several seconds before giving in.
Okay, fine, it's just a rope. Sorry for trying to make the item of the day a little more interesting. It costs 100 gold. You want it or not?
I'll take it. Wallace beams as he takes your coins.
Nice doing business with 5 adventurers. Come back tomorrow and see what I got.
Oh, I thought it might have been a special object. I'll leave it here then. Shouldn't have done it. An archer sits at a table in the corner of the inn. He is accompanied by a Nephil, who also carries a bow. Both of them look like experienced travelers, and both have a plethora of scars across what you can see of their bodies. The man looks up at you when you approach the table.
Hello, fellow adventurers. My name is Alonso, and my friend here is Her. I wish I could offer you a seat.
Her drinks his ale in silence. What brings you to Keilan?
Oh, what brings an adventurer anywhere? We were wandering looking for action, and it seems to have found us in this farming village. We came to Keilan several weeks ago, and I've been investigating the golem situation. I fear that we have found little of use. I can only hope that you have more success.
Can you give us any advice?
Well, the golems we have seen are very strong, but not very agile. They are slow and stupid, but they are made of rock, so blows hardly affect them. The real problem, though, is who is making them. We explored to the north pretty extensively and had discovered nothing. To the north are miles of swamp with nothing but frogmen inhabiting it. We explored in the northern mountains, but found little of interest. We were just getting ready to try the south. I would advise you to do the same.
What's with her? Her chuckles. It's the first sound you've heard him make. Alonzo, however, is the one who answered.
He doesn't talk much. He's a great traveling companion, though. He can hit a target at 100 yards, and he doesn't bother me with chatter. Her and I have been traveling together for years now, so I've gotten used to quiet rides.
You seem pretty seasoned.
Alonzo nods. That sure is true. We've traveled as far south as Valorum and as far north as White Peak Island. Along the way, we fought bandits, goblins, ogres, and drakes, brought in renegade wizards, and cleaned out abandoned mines. These golems are the toughest yet.
Why is that? Her grimaces and Alonzo slams his mug on the table.
They are solid rock. Our arrows can't bring them down. We are practically useless against them, and even if we kill one, it is replaced. We don't know where they are coming from.
You approach a table where a large Nephil archer sits with a human archer. They both look very deadly and as if they have been in many a fight. The Nephil is shirtless, and his muscles ripple as he shifts position. His torso is covered in scars. He doesn't even look up from his liquor when you stand right before him. The man across laughs.
That's Her, and I'm Alonzo.
Hello, how is life treating you? Her looks up, and at first you think he will actually acknowledge your presence. No such luck. You ask him a few more questions, but get no answers. You are thoroughly perplexed and getting frustrated when Alonzo sees your predicament.
You must excuse Her. He isn't the talkative type. If you want to know something, you should speak with me.
Let's talk with her, and then I'll end it. The cook for this inn stands before you. She's middle-aged and slightly heavy, and she stirs a large pot while clearing the bar with her other hand. She looks up as you approach. I'm Keilan, my husband owns this inn. I cook, clean, and wash the bar. So you cook for an inn. She looks at you like you're an idiot and mutters. I brought in a couple of dimwits, just our luck. Can I get a room or food? You'd have to speak with my husband, I don't deal with those things. So where's this son of yours? She actually stops stirring her pot when you ask her of this. Her face flushes with rage. He's a lazy ingrate. He sleeps all day and drinks all night. Meanwhile, his father and myself toil to run the inn. We would throw him out, but he'd just get into more trouble. I have no clue what to do about him. Maybe I could go talk to him. Oh, I'm sure that would convince him of the error of his ways. That's what he needs, a good talking to from a group of armed strangers. You sense sarcasm. I was trying to be helpful. Well, it was a bad plan. Here's an idea. If you want to be helpful, go stop the golems. I hear they're going to destroy this town, including my lazy son. This conversation is getting very unpleasant. You decide to make an exit before you lose a limb. Alright. Well, even though we still have a bit more of the town to explore, I'm going to end this episode here because it's gone on about long enough. Next episode, we'll continue looking through, take a look at that academy, speak with the mayor, and probably then go out. That'll be in the next episode, so until then, I'm Chester44, that is Fox, Sheik, Bonnie, and Draco. This has been a Blades of Avernum Let's Play, and I shall see you all next time.